Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back again. And this time we're on the third part, or part three of the part two series. In case you haven't been following, the reason why this is a part two series is that I decided to make a mini series following the sequels, the part twos of either like a movie or a season, to see if the sequel is always worse than the first part, or if there are things that might make it even better than the prequel. And so the first part was, well, the first part was Rebel Moon, the Scargiver. The second part of this miniseries was Banished from Heroes Party, and this time we're talking about How to Train Your Dragon. Now, I will make a separate video on How to Train Your Dragon, the first movie, but for now, I'll just summarize that in the first movie, the main character called Hiccup, he's the son of a Viking, and their thing is that they live in an island that's constantly being attacked by dragons. So they kill dragons until Hiccup, in an attempt to kind of make his father proud of him, because his dad is this big, burly, almost like a bear-like man. And well, he's scrawny, he's thin, he's lean, so he's the total opposite of his dad. But he does manage to trap this rare dragon, except that they begin forming a bond. And not just that, but where before his goal was, okay, I want to kill a dragon and make my dad and my village proud. Now he wants to protect this dragon, Toothless. That's the name of the dragon, Toothless. And so what happens is that he is now on constant, he tries to convince his dad in the movie, and he does eventually convince him that not all dragons are bad, not that they can actually coexist with dragons. And so he does eventually, and now part two. And in part two, we see how, to what degree they've taken coexisting with dragons to be. So now they actually ride them. Now they have them as pets. They're part of like their sports, and like it's a whole thing. Now they are actually living it as one with the dragons. They're at peace. They're no longer being attacked. They're no longer vicious towards one another. But now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. One thing to note is that, and this is a little bit of spoilers, but with Hiccup and his dad, the reason that it's just those two is because in one previous attack that they had when Hiccup was a baby, his mother disappeared. And they took it as, well, she died. Well, turns out that, she's alive. So, in the movie, Hiccup has grown up a bit. Everybody has grown up a little bit. And we see a different struggle. Because where Hiccup was trying to please his dad, he was trying to be the man his dad wants him to be. He now has a different outlook. He no longer wants to be the head of the village. He doesn't want to be the leader. He wants to do his own thing. He wants to explore. He wants to discover. He wants to learn more about dragons. He wants to learn more about the world. He is out there. While everybody is in the village, he's out looking for, what else is out there. He explores his map. He expands it. And it gives the sense that Hiccup is growing up into his own man. He's becoming his own person. Not in the way that he no longer wants to deal with the village. It's more like he now has a wider picture of the world, and that is becoming who he is. And when they discover that there's this band of well, horrendous Vikings who are actively looking for dragons and enslaving them, not just killing them, but enslaving them, making them fearful of them and using them as weapons. The main villain, Drago Bloodbeast. Drago has this thing where, since the beginning, he's told them, "Oh, we have to, we have to form an alliance." And all the Viking leaders from different parts of the world, they've all been, "Oh, no, no, you're wrong. Oh, but we need to conquer the dragons. Oh, that's impossible." But he actually has done the impossible, kind of the same way that Hiccup has, but in a different way. Where Hiccup, he forms a bond of friendship and has this deep bond. Drago's bond with his dragons are more of, you fear me because I'm the alpha and you do what I say. And so it's more on the basis of fear, of intimidation. So it's in a way he does what Hiccup is doing, but in a worse way, going the opposite direction. So when Hiccup finds out what is really going on, well, he decides to infiltrate and free the dragons from Drago's kind of like moving base, which is just like this group of vessels that they're sailing on. But he does free some dragons. They get mad at him. They get separated, and that's when not just Drago knows where they're from, like what village. He also has a past history with Hiccup's dad, because well, Hiccup's dad was the one who said, "Yeah, no, this conquering of dragons, that's not going to happen." So when Hiccup is out and about, he discovers this mysterious figure, and this mysterious figure kind of leads him to some weird place. The best way I can describe it is he follows this mysterious figure to this system of caves where there's dragons. And Hiccup shows his skills with the dragons, the way he uses his sword as kind of like to burn it on fire and use it as a way to hypnotize the dragons. The way he mimics the dragons, kind of like to know that he's not a threat. That type of thing. So it really reminds you, if you've seen Fantastic Beasts, it kind of reminds you of what they do in Fantastic Beasts. But obviously, How to Train Your Dragon was first. So, bottom line, he discovers that the mysterious figure is his mother. Now, his mother explains what really happened, that when the dragons had attacked and that the dragon had arrived to him as a baby, she saw that it wasn't a vicious creature, and that the dragon did understand that, oh, this is a baby, this is the mom, you know, that she's just trying to protect the baby. When his dad had come in, the dragon thought that he was a threat, so that's why he took away the mom, Hiccup's mom. So that's where she has been the whole entire time, and she shows him, the sanctuary that they're in, and that there's a massive dragon, who she describes as the alpha. That's kind of like the category, you could say, or the species, like the alpha dragon, a giant dragon who can shoot out ice. And the reason is that they command all the other dragons. But again, it is kind of you see the proportions and you can really see where it is. To make the long story short, because again, the main purpose is not to go over the entire story, but long story short, Drago reaches the Viking village. Hiccup arrives there along with his mom as well. He kills Hiccup's dad, and now Hiccup is faced with a decision of what to do. Does he lead the village? Does he go away and do something else? It's a hard decision. in the end, he does stay in the village. He leads them in their kind of like their counterattack to Drago, and they do defeat Drago in the end. Toothless becoming the new Alpha because one of the abilities that the Alpha dragons have is that they can command the other dragons and they'll listen, they'll obey. However, when that meant that Hiccup was in danger, Toothless kind of snapped out of it, and he instead protected Hiccup and became the new Alpha instead. And that's what led to, well, now Hiccup is the new Alpha of the dragons, even though he's like the smallest of the dragons. Well, anyway, so that's kind of where it is. And something about part two is that it does a very good job in giving you a new reason to be invested in the story. It's not just a repetition of, oh, Hiccup wanting to run away and just spend his time flying with Toothless, and he has obligations. No, it's there's actually new reasons to be invested in the story. Why? Well, Hiccup wants to know more about his mom, and now he finds his mom and finds out the truth. But the mom has been away for so long that she no longer knows if, well, will Hiccup forgive her, or does he love her the same? Because it has been so long. Or even Stoic, Hiccup's dad. Does he love her? Does he forgive her? But then you turn around and, well, can they go back to be a family? Can they go back and just live life the same? And if you all go into another layer, when Drago Bladovis, when he kills Hiccup's father, and really he really just killed him because he pushes Hiccup out of the way and the attack that was meant for Hiccup hits him instead. Hiccup loses a father. And it's not just losing a father, but now he's no longer there to give him advice. He's no longer there to be his safety net, to feel secure that, okay, things are going to be all right, even when they're not. He no longer has that figure. He's no longer going to have his father witness when he gets married, when he has a family of his own, when he becomes the new leader. When he reaches all these life goals, his father's not going to be there to be proud of him. He's no longer going to have that feeling of, now I made my dad proud. He has no more chances to do that. And that can be heartbreaking. It's a son who lost a father. And it's not just gut-wrenching. It's also, it gives it more heart to the story. Because, yes, now he found his mom, their family, but that quickly is taken away. So, yes, now he still has his mom, and his mom stays, but, it's not that it's going to replace this new pain that he has. Because now he feels like he's on his own, but at the same time, his mom is there, and she tries to make him understand that, no, you're not going through this alone. My mistake is staying away for a long time. But you are not me, you're not your dad. You are a different kind of leader, but you are a leader. You can do this. And, that's quickly seen as how he leads the counterattack to rescue the dragons that Drago took, to rescue his own dragon, to fight back against the Alpha. That's the type of thing that, there's a lot that goes on in the story. And even if you don't know what it's like to lose a parent, there are other aspects that hit you in your core because they're human emotion and they're human experiences. You know, the love of a parent, the loss of someone you love, or the insecurity of becoming your own person, becoming who you're meant to be, that you're not sure if you're going to live up to the expectations. So there's a lot to it. And as you can tell, I deeply enjoyed this film for what it is, and even more than that. It does a good job of not only having elements from the first film, and yes, you do have to go to the first film to to kind of understand. But even if you haven't seen it and don't understand about the struggles, they do summarize it in the beginning, so you do more or less understand what's going on. Or if you haven't seen part one in a long time, you are caught up to speed on the introduction. But then part two, this movie gives you more reasons to be invested in the plot, to be invested in the characters. And I think that's wonderful. I mean, I think it's what all part twos are supposed to do. Give you more reasons to stay and expect for more rather than, oh, we make another great hit. No, because it's not in isolation, it's a continuation. And so I think this is a very great example of what a part two should be. And if you can look it up online. There's a lot of comments and critics that echo the same feeling, that this is basically a course on how a sequel should be made. And it's wonderful, and I agree. It's a great film. All right. I'll leave it at that. If you've seen How to Train Your Dragon, either the first film and the second film, or just seen the first film, or maybe you've seen them and you just don't like them, I mean, that's also valid. So we'll leave it at that. Leave a comment, and well, hopefully we'll have interesting discussions in the comments section. So take care, and remember, be kind to those around you. You never know what they're going through. See you soon for part 4 and final part of this miniseries. Bye bye.